The red door is right through here. Guys, we are about to enter the second class trial of this game. This will unravel all the ravels that have been created so far. Ahem. So, is everyone ready to... What?
Hmm?
Am I blind? Or am we missing someone? Is it Kyoko? Oh no!
Yo.
No, it is not. Toko's not here.
Huh?
Toko is...
Huh?
You really don't remember?
Come on!
Kidding, I'm just kidding. How could I forget that little nutjob? She's a crucial part of the class trial this time.
What are you gonna do?
Okie dokie. I'll go ahead and drag her out here, kicking and screaming. Just one moment, please. So, let me guess. Byakuya knows that Toko is actually um, Genocide Jack. So, he killed Chihiro, who is actually a man, and pretended to use the modus operandi of Suicide Jack. Genocide Jack, not Suicide Jack. And then made me his assistant in order to lead me to believe that it was the actual Genocide Jack who did it, who is actually Toko. But in reality, it wasn't Toko, even though she is Genocide Jack, but it is Byakuya who did it. So if we accuse Toko, we'll die, and he gets out. And just like he said, a few minutes later, he appeared dragging Toko behind him. Says Toko. I told him I didn't want to, but he forced me. I can't believe you would drag a girl around. Terrible! You're terrible!
Phew.
So now everyone's here, right? Okay then, hustle onto the elevator and we'll get this show on the road. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
So, shall we get going? It's time to find out who killed Chihiro. You seem very, very relaxed, Byakuya, for being a murderer. Murderer. Chihiro. Chihiro Fuyasaki. She was so gentle, so calm and meek. Nobody had any problem with her. Someone made the choice to kill a girl like that. And the murderer is one of us. He always says the same thing. But the murderer's one of us. So we stand there right in us. I'm gonna talk to Kyoko.
Shall we go?
Shall we begin? And Celeste.
Hmm.
There is something odd about Toko's behavior. Do not think mere shock is enough to explain it. Yeah. We have no choice, right? We have to do this.
It's true.
Yes. I gave a small nod in reply. With one last deep breath, I walked toward the elevator, on shaky legs. With each step forward, I could feel my heart starting to race faster and faster. As soon as everyone was on, the elevator began to descend. I couldn't get a handle on my emotions, couldn't stop speculating. The steel box sank with heavy clunking sound deeper and deeper into the ground. And as we went deeper, the uneasiness in my heart grew bigger and bigger. The elevator was unaffected, however, and continued to descend without hesitation. Until finally, it came to a sudden stop. What do you think? I redecorated. Isn't it so fresh? Isn't it so exciting?
Hmm.
Don't waste our time with the stupid questions. Let's get this over with.
Very
Good, good. You are ripe, raring to go. Gotta say, I don't hate it. Not at all.
Well,
Okay then, let's get this show on the road.
thrills, chills, kills!
Everyone, please find your assigned seats. There is no seats, man. We always stand. We are standing people. And so the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment. A deadly deception. A deadly betrayal. A deadly, deadly, deadly everything. A deadly reader. Okay. A deadly class trial. Do you want to save the data? Yes. Here. Overwrite. Uh, Preparation. Set skills. What skills do I have? I have no skills. Wait. Neural liberation. The focus gauge decreases more slowly during concentration and fewer time. And fever time. No, sorry. Effective during the non-stop debate. The hands can be. Okay. Sure. Melodious voice. Increases damage to the opponent when a statement is destroyed. Effective during bullet time battle. Sure. That's it. That's what I have. Trial.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results.
Yeah, but I will always be found guilty if I do not win.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay then. So, first off, let's talk about the murder weapon!
Murder weapon. First we have to make clear what was used to deliver the fatal blow. That's not that difficult. Genocide jack, library, slam, locker room, dumbbell. Okay?
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
Yes?
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
No!
Interesting.
Stop!
That certainly would make for a powerful weapon.
That was too fast!
Chihiro.
That was too fast.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
How do I make it go
According
slower?
to the Monokuma file,
Okay,
the killer used
spacebar.
a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I bet it was an iron
No.
pipe.
No, that's wrong. Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell found at the scene of the crime?
Yep, we can agree that.
It was covered in blood, and there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
Was there not? I wonder.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell.
Is it? Did you examine that?
As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
Okay.
You looked at her head wound?
Yes, Kyoko is kind of scary.
Yay! That's so creepy!
And yet so important. And nobody else did it. She has nothing to say. Look at her, she's an assassin.
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit.
Shall we?
Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
Yes, it is quite clear that it is you, motherfucker.
What? For real?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Genocide Jack, the fiendish serial killer. Did he really kill Chihiro? A new element has been added to the non-stop debate. Would you like to hear more? Yes. This debate, lines of white noise will appear to disrupt your reactions. The truth bullet will disappear if they hit these lines, so think of them as obstacles. But there's a way to keep this white noise from getting in your way. Press the right bottom mouse to attach a silencer, which you can use to shoot down the white noise. However, if you shoot the actual remark with your silencer instead of the white noise, the time limit will decrease, so take careful aim. This is so unnecessarily difficult. But if your action difficulty is set to gentle, white noise won't appear at all. Yeah, it is not. In any case, you can forget about the silencer and just focus on the... Okay. Well then, good luck and have fun. I'll try to have fun. Genocide Jack's files case, library desk lamp, locker room dumbbell. Okay.
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible.
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on. There's just no proof for it.
Hey, so speaking of Genocide Jack,
Oh,
I don't know
wait.
who that is.
There is proof. The case file.
The culprit is Genocide Jack.
Yep.
I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible.
No, it's not.
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on. There's just no proof for it.
Of course there is proof.
No, that's wrong. I might know one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library.
You didn't find it. The killer gave it to you.
I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
Indeed, what was it
The
doing?
why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about that for now.
I don't think
More
we should.
importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail.
Uh-huh.
According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right.
Bloodlust.
Bloodlust.
Aha, he says booblust.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
But more important is the other characteristic, and it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
Yeah, you don't want to be suspicious. The other characteristic of every it is the bloody message left behind where the murder took place.
I got it! Apparently, in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
Mm-hmm.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way.
No.
So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it?
Because you were aware of it and you are the
There's
culprit.
only one logical answer I can think of. It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No, of course not. It's because it's you and you knew
No
it.
fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
One of us?
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
It is Toko indeed.
What?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
That is true.
You lie!
No.
What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has like bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of serial killer is afraid of blood?
Someone who splits her personality when she sees blood. and then once more blood.
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Second personality, yeah.
Another riddle. Man, why is this gotta be so complicated?
It does seem like a riddle in a way, but I feel like I can just about see it. Genocide Jack is Toko, but isn't Toko. What does it mean? Use your mental power. Look at him, he's concentrating so much. What should I... S? What? What am I supposed to do? See? She's so schizo.
Now I understand. Is it because Genocide Jack has a split personality?
Yep.
Huh?
I think I read that somewhere in the file too. They thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Is what? Completely true.
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
The one thing that shows Toko could have a split personality, it has to do with her behavior. She fainted, her behavior changed. Yeah, she was like with her tongue out.
I got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
Yep.
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
I'm fine, yeah. Wow, what is that dead body? Hey, are you dead? Yeah. She must have hit her head real hard when she fainted. The world has a front and a back, a top inning and a bottom, a sea of truth and a web of lies. This is quite concerning. I mean, she sounds completely different.
She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
You don't like the adjective? Do you want... And we're not using your correct adjective?
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm.
Utterly calm.
In other words, within her is one personality that can handle blood, and one that obviously can.
Obviously. She knows about it. Look at her.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
Probably. Look at her. She's trembling. I won't let Genocide Jack have control. I'll drive out the killer. Drive out the murderous. Fine. Fiend.
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
Yeah, that seems plausible.
How?
How?
Yeah. How can you know all this?
Because he's the mastermind behind all this.
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time.
And then you kill Chihiro and try to blame her.
And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
Nope.
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
You promised. I can't believe you lied.
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to. This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale.
Fairy tale.
Besides, you broke your promise first.
Did she? What was her promise?
You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone.
She didn't. You killed Chihiro.
But in spite of that promise,
I'm sorry. Couldn't keep her promise. But don't worry. Never again. I won't let Genocide Jack have control ever again.
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me. That's the only reason I promised.
how many times do I have to tell you? I never said that, but you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you?
I tried. I swear I tried to control it, but...
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
I hate you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished.
Wait.
All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
Wait. But if it is Byakuya and he dies, we still have Toko inside the house. And she's Genocide Jack. This cannot end well.
The person you don't mean.
Look at her, she's freaking out. Toko's body suddenly launched forward, backwards. A huge thud echoed across the courtroom. But in the next second, are we gonna see Genocide Jack?
Well, hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see?
You have a much higher voice than I expected.
Yes! What the heck? So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
Genocide Jill?
What the fuck is this?
Toko, what happened to you?
I think that Taka kinda like Toko. Taka and Toko
Not Toko,
sitting on the
that's a
tree.
loser name, and what happened is a textbook split personality! So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
She has such a long tongue.
She's so intense.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie.
Yeah, you've said that before.
Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
This is the murderous fiend, Genocide Jack. This is beyond insane.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Aw, look at her. She's a nice murderous fiend.
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you, I am the mastermind of all masterminds! Just kidding!
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true. How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid? And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless. I mean, they just let this idiotic bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town.
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people. It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone. Just kidding again!
What's wrong with her? She's just as annoying as Toko, just in a completely different
This
way.
should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
Nope, there is doubt.
Motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us?
I don't remember anything.
If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed.
And that secret was that she is Genocide
Well,
Jack?
let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined.
Yeah, but she would leave. If she left here, everybody else would die, so there's no point into that.
So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
And yet she told you.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Huh?
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
I can't imagine it.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster!
That is an ad hominem. Just because she's a monster doesn't mean that she is still in life right now. Maybe. Maybe she's totally right about that, but something's still bothering me. What she said, I need to get some more details about all of this. Okay, what bullets do I have? Library lamp, a status of the dead body, disappearance states. The status of the dead body is gonna be it.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone!
That's true.
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Alibi.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking!
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely.
No, it doesn't.
No, that's wrong. Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you! I murder with passion and conviction.
Passion and conviction.
I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee.
I have no idea what those things are.
This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
This one uses a cord. There's one clear difference between the murders. The style.
I got it! For one, the cause of death is different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors.
And custom-made scissors, like very specific.
But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Yep.
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Remarkably.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method?
It would be weird.
And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
Which one is it?
That's right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini,
What? She really likes pasta too.
then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce.
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
Why?
So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
Yep. That's right, the second difference is related to how it was suspended. How the body was posed.
I got it! Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
Not some kind of rope, a cord. A cord that Byakuya had access to.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
Mm-hmm. They die by the scissor, they hang by the scissor.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement. Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else?
What else?
Big Mac said there's 2 differences, but he's wrong.
Is he?
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
Makoto, Big Mac.
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Which one is it?
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case.
Men?
There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
A pattern?
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Because they are men, however, Chihiro was a man, and Byakuya is gonna say that. In order to yep. There was a pattern surrounding the Genocide Jack victims, and Chihiro didn't fit it. I think I figured it out. I know why she wouldn't kill Chihiro.
I got it!
Yeah, but the thing is that...
because Chihiro was a girl?
But she wasn't a girl.
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
He knows.
In all the Genocide Jack cases,
No, he doesn't
all the
know.
victims had something in common.
They were all guys?
Yep. But Chihiro is a guy.
That's right! The
Or
people
was a guy.
I killed with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men!
Yeah, but Byakuya is gonna say that Chihiro was a man.
I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
Fan madam.
So since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you...
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely, when you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly cur!
Lowly cur.
Lowly cur?
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect!
That does make some amount of sense.
Yeah, because she is being framed.
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class envy of the entire world scissors!
And how do you make them?
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that? Da 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 da!
She's fully equipped!
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, anytime! Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong! You can't, can you, gutter dogs, all of you!
Gutter dogs.
Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway.
Yeah, but I am waiting for the moment someone is gonna say that Chihiro was a man.
I have no idea what's going on anymore! Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Actually, hold on, there is one person. One person who could have copied the Genocide Jack cases.
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Yep.
Then, the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
Indeed.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it.
Yes.
The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire!
Also, Jill and Toko both like Byakuya.
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me.
Why are you so cool?
Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
That's it. And the locker rooms? They are suspicious. Very suspicious indeed. Wouldn't you agree? Suspicious? It seemed nobody searched the locker rooms. Let's start with the girls' locker room.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right?
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
But she wasn't a girl, she was a man.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
That she was indeed killed in the boys' locker room because she was a
Okay,
man.
Then, what's so strange about it? Go ahead, share with the rest of the class.
There was a clear contradiction in what Byakuya just said. I need to make it clear to everyone. A new element has been added to the non-stop debate. Would you like to hear more? Tell me more, game. What else do you have to throw my way? I am struggling right now, and you keep doing this shit. If you aim at the weak spot on the whole leftmost button, then you'll memorize that weak spot. This memorized phrase can only be shot once as a single truth bullet. If you shoot or change the truth bullet, it will disappear from your truth cylinder. However, you can use this flashback feature as many times as you want. If you don't seem to have the answer to a lie or contradiction in your loaded truth bullets, it might be wise to memorize a different weak spot and use that to make your case. When's the best time to flashback? Well, you'll just have to use your keen wits, won't you? In this case though, I will say that if you don't use a flashback, you won't be refuting anything. How did I use a flashback? Hold on, no, wait! How was it? What did I have to do?
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
Yes?
But he was acting weird... how?
Wait. Where is the thing? Flashback, okay. If you target a weak spot and then hold down the left mouse button, you can use that weak spot as a temporary truth bullet later in the argument. Oh, okay. Left mouse button, okay?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it!
Do you?
That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
Hearing Byakuya's comment about Chihiro being a girl, I realized there's a clear contradiction there. I need to make the contradiction clear.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
Uh-huh.
But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a
Is
girl.
this it? No.
shoot!
Okay.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
Before
If
we
you're
found the body.
presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction
Yeah,
for
but
any guy!
how is that a good
The
truth bullet?
victim was Chihiro, who was...
No, that's wrong.
Because Shihiro was a man, yes, but how did you get that from the before we entered the
I'll
locker
tell you
room?
what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was.
Oh.
So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I didn't realize that, guys. I'm just thinking about Shihiro being a man.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
No, it is not, man. You got like you're just delaying because you want to say something clever.
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
What are you talking about? What with Byakuya's attitude? It's like he doesn't even care. I've got him cornered, but he's acting like it has nothing to do with it.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
Of course. The evidence proves that Byakuya is responsible hidden in there? What could it be? Is it the cord? She talking about the cord? Library desk lamp. Celeste's account. Disappearance stain. Okay. Look at.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
Uh-huh.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's
Yes.
right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
No, that's wrong. Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you?
Yep.
And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
No, you kill her in the boys' locker room. Then you grab the freaking thing and make her enter the girls' locker room. He's doing it again. He's totally calm, totally unconcerned. As if he's not even involved. Wait, not even involved?
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
No, well, he is the killer, but that's not exactly what happened.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Yep.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, but still.
There's something more that she was killed in the boys'
There's
locker room.
something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
What was that just now? Something's not right. Byakuya's remarks, yes, there's something in there that concerns me.
I got it! You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown.
What are you talking about?
She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Because you changed everything.
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
Hey Byakuya, did I just take you off guard? When the story suddenly moved to the crime scene, Byakuya, who'd been so confident up till now. Maybe Byakuya never even realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Hey, don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
So he's not the killer? Is that what we're getting at?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Evidence that shows that the murder took place somewhere else. I just need to focus on those things that got switched. First I have to prove that the scenes were switched. I guess first is the posters?
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
Yes.
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange?
Very strange indeed.
Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Look at Hifumi. He's so concerned about the scissors.
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
Yes.
And there's
On
one
the
other
carpet.
thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Yep.
Protein coffee? While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
No, it's not that the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Wait, are you... Do I have the carpet with me? I'm just getting the carpet out of my pocket and be like, is this one it?
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too?
Yes.
But why would anyone do that?
So that nobody knows that she was killed in the boys' locker
To
room.
move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think?
It is exactly what happened.
In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
To say that Toko did it, who's a girl, and not he, who is a boy.
Huh?
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place?
See? We're getting somewhere now.
To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Is he right? Could Chihiro have gotten into her boys' locker room somehow? I am sad. Is she actually going to be a girl? Oh, it's going to be the broken handbook, right?
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I've got it! She
How?
must have hacked her e-handbook!
That's wrong. Wait, what?
Shoot!
Okay, I lost a life, guys.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I've got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook! She was the ultimate programmer, after all. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course. If she had that, she could get into the boys' locker room no problem.
Theoretically, if Chihiro was able to use the handbook, she could get into the boys' locker room. But that's if she was able to use it.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro
Okay.
really have gotten into the boys' locker room
So
somehow?
I just have to...
I've got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook!
Nope, that's not it.
She was the ultimate programmer, after all. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
No, that's wrong.
This handbook was broken because of the balls. Maybe.
No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Yep.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent
But if
by
it was
how quickly you gave up.
broken, how do you know it was his?
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup, yup, yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
Psst! You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook,
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just wrong?
No, Shihiro's a
It seems like
man.
there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess...
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Is that it then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room and Byaku just the one who did it, really? But still, I don't know what else I
Hold
can
on a
do.
second.
Thank you, Kyoko. You know everything all the time. And you have a last name with many eyes. That gives me confidence
I
in you.
agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say?
Yep.
There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
By being a boy!
What?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Oh.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Taking a break, man.
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
Huh? For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
So, before I even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We headed off with Kyoko in the lead. And where she took us was the murder scene.
The girls' locker room?
Is she gonna show us Shihiro's dick?
We've already searched this place top to bottom.
No.
What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
You want to check it again?
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Examine her carefully? Like using our hands? No, wait,
Gay.
no way!
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
It's not a girl.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just... based on religious grounds, you know?
It's not a
Very
girl.
well. I'll do it.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her.
I'm not sure about that.
So just leave this to me.
Sakura.
What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about?
That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Also, I like that girl, Jill, more than Toko.
Okay.
I hope she stays.
You're right. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Putting her hands together in a brief prayer, Sakura then began to quietly examine her
Be
body.
sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is...
No, she's turning Super Saiyan.
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
Sakura's eyes were staring wildly at Shihiro's lifeless form. Her massive frame trembled.
This girl is
what?
a boy.
Ah,
Thank
I
you.
see. So she was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact.
Why do you look so happy and chubby?
What? You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Look at her. She has an aura now.
Then it's really true?
Chihiro was a guy?
Yep.
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat.
Yep. Because you gave her the freaking thing.
Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
Then he was a cross-dresser? Oh, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting.
Interesting. And Kyoko, as always, is quiet.
Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting.
I mean,
Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial.
sure.
Ahem. I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial. We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Sure, let's
Yes,
pick up from there.
well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
Indeed. I think that Shihiro was actually a guy. The thought had never even crossed my mind. You're so slow,
And
Makoto.
because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
No problem at all.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the
Yes.
killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
Man,
This is a most titillating situation!
titillating.
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Very interesting.
What is this guy?
This has become very interesting indeed.
Ah, he's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
I think so, but
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt.
so wait. Are you saying that he was trying to blame her and someone else? So there's a mastermind who was trying to blame him for trying to blame her? That is such meta.
He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it. And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy, if you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
He's so annoying.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Are you fucking with us right now?
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
I don't get it. Why would he do something like that? Why would he do something like that? If he messes with the evidence, then they do not find the real killer, and he dies.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why
Yeah,
do you do
that's
that to
that's
his
a real
body?
question.
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say?
No.
Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
They're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
I mean, it was clear, but
No,
No, it
I'm
isn't.
with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility, because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
oh, so cute, Celeste.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Ants do have a mind of their own, I think. Would you say they do?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's
Okay.
very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
If it's not Byakuya, at that loss, guys. I don't know.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
But if Byakuya didn't do it, then who is the real killer? Who murdered Chihiro? There's one thing we can be sure that we know the killer. The killer is a guy.
I got it!
Since the crime scene was in the boys' locker room, you would need a boys' handbook to get in. Since Leon's handbook is apparently broken, the killer would have had to use their own. In other words, it had to be a guy. But that's not enough. I need to find some more clues. The killer must be strong enough to lift the freaking thing. Library desk lamp, disappearance stains, Lester's account.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
So Lester's account?
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
That? No? Okay.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over. It's all over. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer. And only the killer.
No. Celeste saw her too.
That's wrong. I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Celeste.
Now that you mention it, yes, I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this.
Makoto.
The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. And then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
Nope.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
Well, I'd better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
Okay, so it's
So,
the...
Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
Yes, and it has to be
But Hina and I had invited him
I
to
wonder.
exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Yeah, because
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much, enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
What a marvelous friendship!
it has to be Mondo.
The point is, whoever he
Maybe.
met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
Yeah, but would Mondo be intelligent enough to plan the...
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
Seriously?
Who is it? Who's the killer?
It is you, Mondo.
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on 2 pieces of evidence that we don't have?
Maybe
What?
Hifumi.
You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Maybe Hifumi because he can dispose of the thing because he's in... He has the trash key, right?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say, but fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from.
Okay.
Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
But can you see the jacket though? Does Chihiro's truck jacket really hold some clue about the killer? Somehow it's really hard to believe. Make your argument. Library, this is experience plane, Celeste's account. Jesus Christ.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise.
Yes?
So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
Okay.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit. Cause exercising sucks.
Wait.
I have a white tracksuit personally. I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Did any of that really help us get any closer to figuring out who the culprit is?
No way. Not a chance.
I think so.
You heard him, right? What he just said without even realizing it?
Yeah. Mondo said
First of all, we know
blue
where Chihiro was
tracksuit.
headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask,
And
why
Celeste
did he
didn't say
choose
blue.
the specific
Maybe.
tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
Shoot!
I was...
First of all, we know
Can
where
I go
Chihiro was
faster?
headed. He was on his way to go exercise.
So next, why did he choose?
What do you mean, the...
I got it! It matched the one...
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
No, that's wrong.
Yes, I got it now. For some reason I got the black one in the previous one.
Hold on a second,
It was too
Mondo.
slow.
What did you just say?
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said...
jacket in the duffel bag. Uh-huh.
She never said anything about the jacket's color. So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you? You just...
You got trapped,
Hey,
man.
Celeste, what color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
As a matter of fact, it was blue.
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
But because I just...
I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
Where?
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died. That's the only possibility.
Cherry.
Cherry? Are you talking about Chihiro?
Yep.
So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Look at that tongue. That's inhuman. Look at that.
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony,
She stuffed the jacket into her bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. And just like that, she was gone.
when Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
Yeah.
It would appear you've dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it?
One big bluff.
Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it. To put them on edge.
That's right. However,
However,
Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
But why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
because I hate him.
There was a certain turning point that tipped me off. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women differently. You only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick.
Oh! I thought he was just like an idiot.
And after he was killed, you happened to refer to him as dude. Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
You noticed such a tiny detail?
I noticed, but I think he was an idiot.
Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful!
She's a witch! And how do you know she's a witch? Because she turned me into a newt.
No, I'm not the frightful one.
Aren't you?
Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Yeah, that was horrible. I didn't expect it from him at all. Actually, I thought it wouldn't be him.
Mondo,
Specifically.
was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro?
That's
That's horrible.
I didn't kill anyone. You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah, he would never do something like that. This is a false accusation.
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has nearly come.
Huh?
That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you'd found some evidence?
Yep,
Really? What kind of evidence?
the best kind.
Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Just say it.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then, here it is.
What do you have there?
It happens to be an e-handbook.
It is an
I
e-handbook.
found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
Okay. You found it on the ground, right? Then it must belong to... Chihiro's?
I got it! We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Should it?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
How did he break
That's
it?
odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
Yeah.
You're right. They're not.
So if they're not fragile, it has to be Sakura. Because...
They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall. For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere?
It was Sakura because she's so strong. Said it.
How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
How did the handbook get broken? There's only one possible explanation.
I got it! You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
Yeah! You remember that? Sure, maybe I let that slip, but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession, then...
Then we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
Huh? You're asking me?
Is it going to be something stupid as the weakness is hitting it very hard?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already. Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example?
Should we promise Pinky
Then allow me to make a special announcement.
Sure.
The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is... When it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break!
Oh. So it is Mondo's. Because Mondo was in high temperature with his clothes on.
I flippin' knew it!
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna. The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin. If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
That is very good information. I have never been in a sauna.
Wow.
I'll make sure to follow that.
I learned one new fact today.
That is a mere
I thought the same
trifling
thing.
speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
It was Mondo because he was with his clothes on in the
But
thinking.
how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Indeed. Quite the...
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
It
What
is
if
Mondo.
the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose.
I won't say it's not possible, but Who would have done something like that? I don't
Mondo.
know of anyone who took their handbook.
I might know someone who did.
Whoa, seriously?
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
Who might have brought their handbook into the sauna? Really, could only have been one person.
Here's my answer. Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
Yes.
What? Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Because he's the culprit.
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago. And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
Yep.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would never kill. I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid proof.
I mean, I don't want to believe it either, but I found something that proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt. What did I find? Make your argument. Hell. Wait, what proves it? Genocide Jack case file? No, wait.
Let's
No?
test Makoto's
Chihiro's
assertion.
handbook?
If what he says is
Card
correct,
reader?
then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
Always a cunt? What did
In
it
other
always say?
words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
See? Look!
That's it?
Makoto was wrong after all! Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
Even I don't want to believe Mondo might have actually killed someone. But I found something that proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt. What? I found something.
Let's test Makoto's
Broken?
assertion.
E-handbook?
If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
Oh, it's this one, and it's
In
not
other
Leon's.
words, if Mondo's handbook is actually
Okay.
broken,
I get it.
then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
Nope.
No, that's wrong. Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours?
No, it's Leon's.
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall, isn't that one actually yours?
It is.
What the heck are you talking about?
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually worked. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
Yep.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's.
But still, why did Byakuya put the corpse in the like?
Which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually legal.
But
Yep.
doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook is
No,
prohibited?
it doesn't, because he.
Well, here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not. It's kind of a gray area, I admit. As such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not to violate.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake.
Son of a bitch.
What's wrong, bro? Come on! Tell him he's wrong! You are wrong! You have everything you just said is wrong! You made it all up!
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning?
Should be.
That way, everything will become clear. And we'll
No,
all
but-
see if I was right or wrong.
What I want to know is why did Byakuya put the corpse in that? Why? Okay. Oh, look at Celeste. She looks nice. So wait. Okay, guys. I'll be back in the next episode.